He was a bad guy.
Although many Libyans would argue how bad he was for them, considering what Gaddafi had done for the country's social welfare and women's rights. But in the eye of the U.S. audience, as presented by the media, he was the ultimate evil.
It's a demonization every step of the way against Gaddafi. In the media today, always one man becomes a justification, one leader of a country becomes a justification for destroying an entire country.
For a few days, the media savored the bloody images of Gaddafi's killing and laughed at similarities between his capture in a ditch and that of Saddam Hussein. All the cheering about Gaddafi's killing, in the eye of the public, effectively erases the bad taste after the NATO campaign. No mention of Libyan civilians killed in NATO strikes, not much talk about the destruction in the country caused by those strikes. Gaddafi's killing is presented as a triumph which can create a perception that somehow it's perfectly okay to invade a country and help its leader be lynched. But if it's presented as such a success, doesn't it become more tempting to try the same methods somewhere else? I'm Ganesh Chakyan reporting from Washington, RT.
Well, Colin Hallinan, a columnist for US-based think tank Foreign Policy in Focus, says the West should be outraged rather than pleased by the way Gaddafi was killed.
I think that there were tremendous sighs of relief all over capitals in Western Europe. I don't think it was misspeaking when Hillary Clinton, U.S. Secretary of State, said that he should be killed or captured, and 48 hours later he was killed. This is a guy who knew quite literally where the bodies were buried. This is somebody who cut all sorts of deals, particularly with the French, but also the British and the Italians, and to a certain extent the Americans as well. I think they did not want him put on trial for any reason. And I am not in the slightest bit surprised that he was captured alive and he very quickly ended up dead.
Well, the role of the alliance in Gaddafi's death is also the topic of debate for Peter Lavelle and his guests. Latest edition of Crosstalk. Well, here's a preview of what's coming your way later today.
I just don't think there's any sign that there's a war crime involved here. I don't think it's murder. I think it's part of an ugly process that we call war. The murder was in the ambulance, so far as I can tell, by a young Libyan. And you know, maybe he should be held responsible for that. But I just don't think that the attack on the convoy
always
is
go after
any
the small fish, never the big fish.
Crime.
This was a American drone plane that attacked his convoy alongside a French warplane, and these two. So really, this was a joint French, NATO, U.S. murder of Gaddafi. The fact that he was technically alive as he scrambled out of his convoy, hardly negates the role of the United States in his murder.